आचार्य पोषकनाथ पाटिल की जय, प्रभु सुदर्शन की जय, Shri Narasimhadev Bhagwan ki jai. So, welcome all the devotees to this morning's Japa session. On behalf of my leaders, I thank all the Japa leads who have done their chanting today. So, now let us begin the next part of the program, which is short Srimad Bhagavatam class. So, today we are going to read Canto 1, Chapter 12 and text number 34, verse number 34. So, let's start with the short kirtan. जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपीजन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपीजन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदना व्रज जन रचना यशोदानंदना व्रज जन रचना यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवी सरस्वती व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. So let's read the text. तेन संभृतसंभारो धर्मपुत्रो युधिष्ठिरः वाजिमेधैस्त्रिभिर्भीतो यज्ञैः समयजद्धरीम्. तेन संभृतसंभारो धर्मपुत्रो युधिष्ठिरः वाजिमेधैस्त्रिभिर्भीतो यज्ञैः समयजद्धरीम्. So word meaning: Tena, with that wealth, Sambhrita, collected, Sambharaha, ingredients, Dharmaputraha, the pious king, Yudhishthiraha, Yudhishthira, Vajimedhaihi, by horse sacrifices, Tribihi, 3 times, Bhitaha, being greatly afraid after the battle of Kurukshetra, Yagnaihi, sacrifices, Samayajat, perfectly worshipped, Harim, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. By those riches, the king could procure the ingredients for 3 horse sacrifices. Thus, the pious king Yudhishthira, who was very fearful after the battle of Kurukshetra, pleased Lord Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, purport is very elaborate, so we'll discuss as through. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So Hare Krishna. So here we can in the last class we got to know that Maharaj Yudhishthira, because he was not having sufficient riches to perform the yajna, what he did, he collected the riches which was left behind by Marutta, King Marutta, right? So after that, what he did is he utilized that wealth for performing 3 horse sacrifices. So horse sacrifice is very expensive yajna, so he could manage with that wealth. So, and also what he did was actually, why he did this yajna at the first place was because he was very fearful that he was the cause of so many deaths in the battle of Kurukshetra. So we had always learned that Maharaj Yudhishthira is very pious, right? He is very ideal king. In fact, we can even match him with the ruling of King Ramachandra, Lord Ramachandra. So as nice king as Lord Ramachandra and very moral king he was. But still, he was afraid that because of him, the battle of Kurukshetra took place. Here we can understand that uh, a devotee is like this. He always takes all the mistakes on his part, even though if there is visibly on the surface, if there is no mistake, also the devotee always thinks, where is my mistake in this and how can I correct that so that I could please the Lord Krishna. So here also, Maharaj Yudhishthira, he always likes to think what is my fault and from my side what I did. So how to get rid of that fault? It's only by doing sacrifice to the Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna. So we can see that although it was actually duty of Maharaj Yudhishthira, being a Kshatriya, so it was his duty to give protection to the citizens by killing the unwanted men, or if anybody comes and poses a threat, then it is his duty to fight back because he is a Kshatriya. So that is an occupational duty for him. And even in that duty also, if he could find out some sins, then what to tell about us who might be committing so many sins, right? So that means even if one's duty is like that also, if one duty demands the killing of other person or such kind of sinful acts, then that is also causing some reactions, sinful reactions. So people will ask, right? So many people that I'm so good, but still, why I'm getting so much troubles, so much inconveniences? So that is because people do not even know that this is a sin. They do not unconsciously they are committing sins. So one who is knowing the religious principles, he can understand that what is sin and what is not sin while performing the prescribed duty. But the people in this Kali Yuga are so much ignorant of sins that unconsciously, without knowing, they think it is not a sin, but they are committing a sin. And hence, they have to suffer the reactions. So, actually, people in Krishna consciousness, it is their duty to inform the people which is sin and which is not sin. And also, it becomes the duty of a ISKCON devotee, or as such, any devotee, Vaishnava devotee, to actually save the people from getting their sinful reactions. So, how is it possible? How is it possible? By reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we can understand that in this verse, how to get rid of sins is by pleasing the Supreme Lord through performance of yajna. So hence it is very important that people perform yajna. Even Lord Krishna performed yajnas every day when he was in Dwaraka as a king. So he is proving that it is very important for people to do yajna. So yajna nothing but sacrifice. And according to Shastras, it should be. So here Maharaj Yudhishthira is performing Ashwamedha Yajna for that purpose. So one thing very astonishing is that he collected the heaps of gold which was left back by the donation given by Maruta to the Brahmanas. Those gold actually was lying without any claim of others. It was like waste thing. Nobody liked it. Nobody took it. And even the plates and utensils of gold which were used in that sacrifice, in that uh, dana karma did by Maruta, that was also thrown into dustbins. And even more surprising is that nobody else, nobody common person also took the interest to take it for his own purpose. So we can understand that King Yudhishthira is really pious because in his kingdom, everybody are satisfied. Nobody is even wanting little bit gold for their own purpose. But in this age, we can see that it's not like that. Everybody wants to accumulate more and more and more. They think of every opportunity. They do not leave any opportunity to, you know, to collect the wealth for the other purpose. Even if they get wealth for their 3 generations, 4 generations, they can just take it like that. That means they're not satisfied, right? But in Maharaj Yudhishthira's reign, everybody were satisfied. And that is the proof that Yatha Raja Tatha Praja, right? So, how the king is there, how the leader is there, like that, his followers also would be inspired. But here, King Yudhishthira collected that because not by his own will, but Krishna had him do that. Krishna wanted him to, because everything which is there in the country belongs to the king, or in this case, in modern society terms, it belongs to the government, right? If there is unclaimed land or something, then it belongs to government. Like that, King Yudhishthira claimed that gold, and he used it for the um, performance of yajna. Now we can understand. Now we will get a doubt that okay, Yudhishthira Maharaj was fearful of his sins committed, and hence he wanted to perform the Rajasuya, the harsh sacrifice, Ashwamedha Yajna. And after that, he is collecting the heaps of gold which was given in charity. Isn't it a little controversial that King Maharaj Yudhishthira was a little selfish? One may get the doubt, right? But we can understand that in the last thing they have given Samayajad Harim. So he perfectly worshipped Lord Hari. That means he is not selfish. He wanted to please the Lord. So that is the main intention. It was there. But on the outside, he was actually showing that he was fearful of his sins. But one can understand that those who are devotees, Krishna is there to protect them, right? So there is no way of committing sins, because even the Kurukshetra Yuddha was also uh, the the desire of Krishna. So that desire of Krishna was being fulfilled by the Pandavas. But still Maharaj Yudhishthira thought that the sins are committed by me, and he wanted to do this sacrifice because after this Ashwamedha trying to perform Rajasuya Yajna. And in that Rajasuya Yajna, what he'll do? He'll give the first preference to Krishna, right? The first Abhishekam, the first Arti, Puja is to be given to Krishna. And that was accepted by all the demigods who were present there, right? It was not just the people of this earth who were present, but it was all the demigods who were present in the even Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, all the major demigods. And in front of them, what he did was he gave the first opportunity, first puja, Agra puja to Krishna. So we can see how the Lord is being glorified by Maharaj Yudhishthira. Even here also, he just wants to glorify the Lord. And that is the only reason why he is performing all this yajna. Even the Pandavas helped, right, to collect the gold. All the 4 Pandavas also helped Maharaj Yudhishthira. They are also devotees. So if Maharaj Yudhishthira was selfish, then how can the other devotees uh, wish to, fulfill the desire of Yudhishthira, Maharaj Yudhishthira? Even Lord Krishna was invited he very happily accepted the invitation, right? But if it was for self purpose, then Lord also would not have been, accepted this invitation. So by all this means, we can understand that his uh, only goal was to please the Supreme Personality of God. So otherwise, he had no other desire to collect the wealth unnecessarily. So we have to understand that whenever we perform any sacrifices, it should be only to please the Supreme Lord. So this was the sacrifice done by Maharaj Yudhishthira. Actually, what is the thing to understand is, okay, now I feel like I'm committing so many sins because even while walking, I might step on the small insects, anything, even so many daily duties we may commit so many sins. Then how to get rid of this? That is only by sacrifice. Okay, I understood. But now, which sacrifice I need to perform, right? So there are so many sacrifices given in the scriptures, but during this age, it is tough to get such kind of qualified brahmanas because we see in that age, even the horses which were given in sacrifice were reliving. They were given new life with a good quality life. The next higher status of life they were given, the animals which were given in sacrifice. That kind of power the Vedic hymns are having. They are actually practical. These hymns which we chant in Vedas, which are given, they can even bring back life. That, but it needs proper execution by the Brahmanas. Such kind of qualified Brahmanas are very, very hard to be available in this age of Kali. And also in that age, we got to know that the gold was thrown in dustbin. Oh, we can see the opulence of that kingdom. Still, Maharaj Yudhishthira is thinking, oh, I am not having sufficient riches to perform the yajna. What to speak of this age, where gold is very, very minimum? Here Srila Prabhupada says that the modern civilization, what it is doing, it is promising that the papers will be converted into gold. That promise the government is doing, but it is not to do that. So we can think how to perform such elaborate, very expensive yajnas in this age. Here comes the savior of this age, that is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu. So, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very munificent. That's what we say, right? Namo Mahavadanyaya. He is very munificent that, he is giving us the opportunity to do a yajna which is completely free of cost. No hard and fast rules to chant this mantra, this sacrifice. So there is not even time restriction, there is no place restriction, there is no gender restriction, there is nothing to be spent, even 1 rupee, to do this sacrifice. And yet, it is going to give the highest result, which is not even given by the expensive yajnas. So, we can think that, Kalo dosha nidhe rajan, asti eko mahaguna, right? Kali Yuga is completely full of faults, but still it is having one great opportunity, that is Kirtana Deva Krishna Se. Just by doing this Harinama Sankirtan mantra, Mukta Sangha Paramraji, they'll be completely freed of all the sins. And what they'll get the highest destination. Even in the previous ages, when the rishis were doing 1,000 years, 10,000 years tapasya, they're not able to get this kind of opportunity. Not even a close association with the Supreme Lord. So, but it's like the teacher who is very much inclined towards getting the weakest student pass. Hmm? The teacher is very, very anxious to get that student who is preference, and she'll nurture them more, right? Nurturing is more. Like that, here, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, seeing the very pitiable state of Kali Yuga people, whose minds are always disturbed, who are completely prone to be affected by the modes of material nature. So it's very bad situation in this Kali Yuga, that people are unable to follow the minimum regulative principles in this age. How to get them freed of these miseries? Hmm? That is only by this chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We see our temple devotees, brahmacharis, they go on Nagar Sankirtan every day, right? This Nagar Sankirtan is so powerful because it is it is personally done by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates. They were going on Nagar Sankirtan. So they were having this Sankirtan in Shiva Sangan. So even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent Nityanand Prabhu and Haridas Thakur to go to each house and knock their doors, fall at their feet, beg them to chant Hare Krishna. Who can do all of this? Being Supreme Lord, he is doing all of this. Even Lord Nityanand Prabhu is also Supreme Lord Balram. So they are being very merciful to give us this mercy, right? So it is on now. Of course, we have taken that. It is also important to remind other people of this thing, this sacrifice, because there are so many people who are poor; they cannot afford anything, right? We can ask them to chant Hare Krishna. What is fault in that? Not fault. What is loss in that? Right? Loss at all. Only gain, gain, gain. So a businessman would never lose this kind of opportunity, of course. So like that, even nobody should lose this opportunity. So actually, once there was Nagar Sankirtan, not Nagar Sankirtan, it was book distribution, uh, traveling book distribution. That means devotees, they go for some months together in a, they'll fill books in that bus, Srila Prabhupada's books, and they'll just go on distributing for months together. They'll go all around some state or country. So what happens once is like this: a book distribution was going on, traveling book distribution. At that time, one policeman actually stopped the bus, and due to some maybe legal issues, he arrested them. He arrested them, and not even like arrested, he never let them go out anywhere. Hmm? He was making them stay in the station itself with that bus also. What these devotees did, of course, they do not know what to do now. So, but they cannot leave chanting. They have to complete their rounds. They cannot leave Mangalarti. They have to do that. There was deities installed in that bus, and they started doing Mangalarti every day. They started preparing prasadam there itself. They started Harinam Sankirtan there itself. Now, what happened to this police person is that he was feeling, array, what are these devotees? Why are they doing like this? Even if they are in jail, even if they are stopped by police, they are just continuing their own work. They're not even worrying about going out of the station, because what very minimum uh, conditions of material life is required to perform this yajna. Even when some of the devotees of one bus is enough. There it's a, even deities were there, it's okay. Even if this bhakti is so powerful that within mind also one can worship the Supreme Lord. So there was one Brahmana who was actually very, very poor. He was not having anything. So, but he wanted to worship the Supreme Lord with so many nice bhogas prepared. So it comes in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that what he was doing is he was doing meditation offering to the Supreme Lord. He was actually coming and taking his bath and closing his eyes and imagining that he was doing Mangalarti. He was very elaborate, like uh, now I am taking the arti and I am putting the ghee lamp. Now I am lighting the fire. Now I am showing it to the Lord. I am offering it to the Lord. I am offering the incense. I am now picking the flowers from uh, the tree. Then I am putting it in a plate. I am offering it. I am picking tulsi. I am now cutting the vegetables. I am I'm switching on the stove. All these things, elaborate things, everything like how we do in our kitchen, like that he was doing. And one day, what happened is that he actually did payasam for the Supreme Lord, and he wanted to check how hot it is before offering to the Supreme Lord. That is required, right? When we offer it to the Lord, we'll see all the parameters whether it is correctly done or not. So he wanted to check it by putting his finger. He thought in meditation, right? It won't happen. It won't hurt in meditation. So let me put it. And when he put his hand inside that preparation, he actually got his hand burnt. And when he saw by opening his eyes, his hand was actually burnt. So such is the power of devotional service when one takes it sincerely. So look at this kind of the Mahaprabhu, that where you are, in whatever life situation you are, in whichever job you are, in that only we can just imagine and do the devotional service. And chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra doesn't need anything much, right? It just needs our interest. So, this actually, that's why devotees, whenever they are getting some free time, like in office also, so they can just keep chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Not necessary even beads. Beads are also not necessary. Actually, 16 rounds of the beads and innumerable round of the beads. That is what Srila Prabhupada said. Always remembering the Supreme Lord is only way to get rid of all sins. So while doing the occupational duties also, it is only to be done to satisfy the Lord. Even if one is trying to only trying to please the Supreme Lord, nothing else. I don't have any desire of myself. I only want to please the Supreme Lord. That kind of mentality, when devotee gets, he's undefeatable. He'll never be defeated by any kind of material situations. So that is what Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita. Sarva dharma padityaja mamekam sharanam vraja ham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami mashacha. Do not fear, just surrender unto me. What does it mean to surrender unto Krishna? It is just that we understand the desire of Krishna and work only to please him. That's all. So that kind of mentality gets, then he's undefeatable by anything. Compulsory he is going to get success in everything because it is Krishna's work. Krishna will never let his work go down, never let his work be defeated. So Krishna will help always. Compulsory. So this is the secret. Krishna, it is secret. And by that one gets actually all the success which is required to do this thing. So here also Maharaj Yudhishthira is doing that, and hence we learn about him here today in Srimad Bhagavatam as the most pious king and very nice devotee. He got the success of getting closer to Krishna Prema, because he is doing only to please the Supreme Lord. So here I stop. So thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील गुरुदेव की जय. हरे कृष्णा. दंडवत प्रणाम.
It's open for all devotees to share